Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be in the YouTube world. I'm posting live on Streamyard and using only my cell phone. Uh, Yesterday, as you know, I had some audio and video issues with my live stream. That was very frustrating. And, I'll get to the bottom of it and get it resolved. Because I don't want to be going on every week and running into an issue. I've contacted Streamyard to see if they can provide any assistance on this. It's probably a setup issue. Anyway, I thought I would just do one today, just to sort of make up for yesterday and see how it goes. So as you can see, I'm not in the train room. I'm in the room behind the train room, and this is where I keep a lot of sort of collectible stuff that I've picked up over the years. And those are what they call Billy cabinets that we got from IKEA. And because I'm in the basement, there is a natural slope on the floor for drainage. In the furnace room, there's a drain. In the unlikely event that you get water down here in the basement, and as a result, we decided to hire what they call a rabbit, and that's a tradesperson, a handy person, whatever. Excuse me. That you can call up and say, how much will you charge to do this? And the guy came the same day and for a reasonable price, put the whole thing together, perfectly level. I would never have tried that myself. Just it'd have been too much. Anyway, it's a handy place to store all my art stuff in the lower sections, and as I say, artifacts or collectibles that I've picked up over the years. Up there in the top is a spaceship that I scratch built. I made it from, I found a cigar-shaped container at a charity shop, and I thought, that would be perfect to scratch build a spaceship. And I'd always wanted to do that. Let's just see if there's anybody coming on. Tap on the comments, show on the screen. Okay, so there is no comments at this point in time. I'm not really sure. Oh, there you go, Anfield Road. Lee, how are you? So as I said, Lee, I'm in a different room here, and that's a scratch-built spaceship I made up there. And maybe I'll bring it down. So this is a spaceship. You would never guess the types of things that are on here to make it look like a spaceship. But there's everything from computer parts to a car light bulb, and these containers you get with a candy in it, with a little gift for the kids, and an earphone, electrical tie strip, just endless. Ketchup and mustard dispensers for the engines. So So that's sort of another one of my many interests. I've also got some old plastic kit boxes up there with the artwork on it. The artwork, as you know, on these military kits from Airfix and Revel are really outstanding, and I don't have any originals, but those boxes are just terrific. I've got Star Wars stuff up there, and I've got Hot Wheels, and or some. Here's another interesting thing. Who's on there? Mark Hemel Down. Hey, Mark, how are you? So here's something I found a number of years back. This is a collection of railways, locomotives. From Kellogg's. So at some point in the Kellogg's box, you would find one of these cards. And I might have found these on eBay, I just don't recall. I've had them for many years, and I don't really see a date on it. But these are all series 2, so there must have been a number of them out. And here's a Star Wars blaster. I bought it as a plastic toy replica, and then I painted it up to look like the blaster. Weathered it a bit, and it actually makes a sound. Pretty cool. Boys and their toys. Now, if you saw the movie Rogue One, you'd have seen, I can't remember the character's name, but they're in the Enclave or Trench or wherever it is where they're being attacked by the evil empire. And the guy's looking through a pair of binoculars like this. And this is the very same one. This is a Bell and Howell electric eye 35mm camera. And what they did was they converted it into a set of field glasses, and I've got the details on how to make the conversion, and it's quite simple. You know, I actually think it's pretty heavy, and I think there might be a film in here, undeveloped. Anyway, that's another little interesting project. So back to the trains for a minute. Yeah, okay, Lee, that's great. Thanks for dropping in, and I wish you well with your Metcalf kit. So, Anthony Dodge out there in Illinois, I think it is. you know, you had the trials and tribulations with the Flying Scotsman. Flying Scotsman that he purchased was HO. As you probably know if you watched his stream. And he then searched for some appropriate coaches. Unfortunately, what he got was Lima 00 coaches. And when he put together with the Flying Scotsman, it looked kind of odd, and they were too large. Well, I had empathy with him because a number of years ago, I think when I first started collecting bits and pieces, I found a class 33 and a set of coaches, and there they're there. A nice little set. Unfortunately, they are HO scale, and you know, I never really noticed it at the time until I put it on the track, and you know, sure enough, they were too small. So they've been in a box all this time, but I've taken them out and ran them, and it runs great. So if any of you are looking for a set of Intercity Blue and Grey, I think they're Mark III coaches, along with the Intercity Class 33, for a fairly good price, let me know. I'd be happy to work with you on it and get it to you. So another thing is, I've got 3 boxes of these DVDs. LNER, GWR, and LMS. BR Steam Days, the 1960s. And Railway Roundabout, just as an example. And as I say, I'm not sure what you do with them. I sent a bunch of Irish ones to Mark McDade, Donegal Dad, and he greatly appreciated it, because it turns out that oh, that's good, Mark. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, Mark McDade greatly appreciated them because, you know, he runs a museum there, and some of the DVDs that I sent were about those trains and people who were running the organisation back in the day. So they've got great historical value for Mark and his museum, and I was really happy that it worked out. So as I say, I've got 3 boxes of these DVDs. Now, I really don't have a use for them, and so if anybody would be interested in picking them up, I'd be happy to take them out the boxes, package them up to keep the weight down, and send them to you. So I'm in a good mood these days. So if you'd be interested in receiving those DVDs, because I'm sure they get a lot of historical value in terms of steam in the UK. And, you know, just let me know, and I'll I'll pull them out. Now, the other thing is I've got a bunch of British Railway books, various sizes and various types. But the problem with them is they're too expensive to post anywhere. And I asked the local library if they'd be interested, and they said no, they don't. They don't take donations of magazines or books. And I've got stacks of magazines as well. And I'm afraid they might just end up in the dumpster. But what I might do is pull out those pages that I've got a kit, let's say, for a building. I'll pull them out, save them, and post them so that if anybody wants them, I can send them. Right, it wouldn't be an issue. So, what else do we have? Yeah, I've got an Airfix Hurricane up there, painted in a little Perspex box. Stuff about aircraft, stuff about art, all kinds of books on art, Lord of the Rings stuff. I'll show you this other one here. So this is another one of those blasters. You may be familiar with it. That's how you would buy it in the store. I dropped this one and cracked it, so I have to repair it. And I've started the process of sanding all the seams, and I've put weight in it to give it a better feel. There's no sound in this one. And then I'll paint it up just like the other one, like that. So that's but here's another type of blaster. This one is more of a Blade Runner blaster, and if I pull this tab here, it'll activate the batteries and the sound for the blaster. But I won't do that right now, but that's pretty cool. I think it lights up and makes a sound. Back to the railways. This here is aluminium or aluminum, depends on which side of the Atlantic you're residing in. I'll just check, see if there's anybody else. No. My stream is buffing. Maybe it's something at your end, Lee, because the stream is fine here and it seems to be working for Mark. Anyway, this is an extruded aluminium rail used as a third rail on the light rapid transit systems in certain cities across the Canada and the US. And what happens is they put a stainless steel plate over the top here, and the train's running by, and it's got a pickup shoe on a spring assembly that comes out the side of the vehicle. And as it goes, it picks up the power, transfers it into the middle of the car, and in the middle of the two running rails, there is a third rail called a reactionary rail. And there's some physics goes on between the power coming here and the reaction on that similar aluminum plate between the two main tracks that causes the vehicle to move forward. And these slots here are to feed electrical cable to warm up the rail, so that when it snows and ice, that it doesn't freeze. Now, the problem with this application here in Toronto, in the East End, was the Toronto Transit Commission decided to take cost-cutting measures. And hey, Nick, how are you? My preferred railway books. Okay. They're in the garage. It would mean I'd have to nip out to the garage for a minute and bring some of them in. And maybe I'll do that if you would bear with me. So, yeah, this would be... And Nick, where are you located? I'm guessing you're located in the UK, but it'd be good to know. So, in their wisdom, the Toronto Transit Commission decided to cut back on the length of electrical cables, because 7 kilometres one way. So that would be 14 kilometres times 2 times 2. One up, one down. And they decided they would only have this for 100 yards on either side of the station. Well, what happened was we had pretty bad winter the first year it was installed, and aluminium contracts, and you wouldn't believe how much it contracts. Now, these were connected here. You can see they put a bolt head in there, and then there would be a similar, not dissimilar, aluminum section, like an H section, joining between the two pieces of rail. And you know, these, you fit the bolt, you put the bolts in and fit that over it, and then tie it down. And then these would be supported every 20 feet or so by a fiberglass stand that gripped here like that. And the problem was that some of them gripped so hard or tightly that when the thing began to contract on the other side, it would move away and create a gap. It was unbelievable, the amount of contraction that occurred. And as a result, as the trains move along, that shoe slipped in to that gap and tore off, and the train came to a standstill. Now, how do I know this? Well, I was hired at one point to be a project manager for the company that provided this. And I was on site supervising the installation of it. That was an interesting time. I tell you what, just give me 2 minutes and I'll be back. I'll nip out and get a couple of those books. Okay, I'm back. The nice thing about living here is that I can go upstairs, go through the laundry room, and I'm in the garage, so I don't have to go outside. Anyway, I grabbed a handful. New comments, okay. Yeah, the UK, okay, Nick. All right, so this is just a random collection. From 1990, the Ian Allen locomotives. I'm sure you've seen this, but you know, they're all listed there with photographs as well. So that's one. British Railways Pocket Book number 1, 2004. Much the same. And nice photographs. I got these from a friend who was, he had a fairly large collection of model railways and a huge layout. Unfortunately, he passed away, and his wife was left with the collection and hundreds of magazines and books and whatever. And I've related a story before that I was charged with demolishing his layout, which was basically 20 by 40. Salvaged all the track, and his wife still has a collection today. Just has difficulty selling it from fear of being ripped off by the unscrupulous types that are out there. And I tried to suggest to her that, well, you know, you can send them to some of the big stores in the UK, but you'd have to pay for shipping, and they'd only give you a fraction of the value. And they're all, I'd say 99% are digital. I'm just not sure what's going to happen there. Anyway, I got a number of books and things. And here's the British Rail Spotter's Companion for 1989. And there's not a mark on it, you know. Right. And here's an old one, probably a collector's piece, Railways of Britain, Cecil J. Allen. Now, that sold for 7 shillings and 6pence back in the day. Just trying to see if there's a date on it. 1958. Right, a great historical record of the Railways of Britain. And the number of stations with 15 or more platforms. That'd be interesting data. And Locomotives, 3rd edition, Colin J. Marsden. these are like brand new condition. And there's another one. Same thing. Great photographs, you know, like. Okay, so there's a nice one. The Atlas of GWR Railways as of 1947. Complete with track plans, ordnance type information, and basically that's what it is. Now, I know there are people that like this type of stuff. There's a buyer for everything, as they say. So British Railways as a 1948, 48 to 51. Now this was published after that, but once again it's lists with photographs. You know, just another historical record. And British locomotive classes, principal big four locomotive classes as at 1945. And the beauty of this is you get all these technical drawings, which are exquisite. I was a draftsman, so I know what is exquisite in terms of engineering drawings. And, you know, you would sometimes find these in Model Rail or Railway Modeler or something like that in the odd time. Well, I hope that was of interest. As I say, there's a box full out in the garage. I think I made a list of the books because there's a group in Ottawa, which is about a 5-hour drive or thereabouts from here. And that's a BRMNA group, British Railway Modelers of North America. I'm a member of that group, and they have a sales page. And in fact, if you go onto their site, you can see the listings, brmna.ca. So I just check, see if there's anybody else. No. And I said, yeah, I'll send you a list with the ISBN numbers, etc. And I said, well, you know, probably for one of these hardcover books, maybe $10, and for the small ones, you know, $3, $4, $5, whatever, right? I just don't want to put them in the dumpster. Anyway, moving on. So these are from Bramall Lane. Now, I've painted them, as you can see, and they'll look good sitting outside the signal box, or maybe somewhere on the station platform. 3D prints. Now, I do have a 3D printer, but I need to replace the top because it's worn out. And I think I will use painter's masking tape, the blue tape. It seems to be an alternative to buying one from the manufacturer. So there's another Scottish guy living here in Ontario that's got a YouTube channel, and I'll give him a plug. It's Scots Rail, or Scots Rails. He's down in Hamilton somewhere, which is about an hour and a half from where I am, and he models North American primarily. So he's built this layout, and he's built his channel around that construction and finding locomotives and wagons, etc., and maybe doing a little bit of work on them if they require it, digitizing them if they're not, and it's quite entertaining. Anyway, you may know that I'm doing this a series of short videos on how to do a diorama, a basic diorama for the beginner. And I'm 2 videos into it, and I'm preparing the 3rd video that will go out maybe by next weekend. And, you know, I thought, well, if it's for beginners, the likelihood is that they won't have a dispenser for static grass because they're expensive. But, you know, there are many ways to go about this. And if you look around YouTube, you'll find some there. And in fact, Scots Rails had one of these plastic things, and I'll show you. And there it's there. It's a mega bug zapper. And basically what you do is you cut off this part and you only use the handle, and you jig around with the wiring, and then you add one of these metal sifters, can't remember the name of it, but you know what I mean. So, you know, I'll go through the exercise of modifying this, but that's for another video. Excuse me. In the meantime, what I'll do is I'll take the approach that, yeah, you're a beginner, you want to learn how to do this stuff. We'll take the simple way of doing it, the most inexpensive way. And what I've done so far is I took a piece of foam, I chopped some of it up, made it rough so that it's not a flat diorama. Got to make them look real, so dig holes in the polystyrene and then cover it with a couple of layers of different types of flock, and then paint it so that it's one sort of uniform colour, but it's delineated by the nooks and crannies on the surface. And I've left room for a track, and I've put a piece of cork down. So the next thing is to go back in and take the short and long static grass and start applying it. And as I say, I'll do it without using the zapper, because beginners won't have that, I don't think, unless they were fortunate enough to be given one. So yeah, that'll be next week sometime. So let me get one other thing here of interest. Okay. So I tried to show this on a live broadcast yesterday, and it is, if you can see this without the reflection, it's a Hornby crane set. And it's the R6183. Now, I found this at, I can't remember if I found it at a show or maybe I bought it from Hatton's. But it's still in the box. Hi, Clive. I hope it's not raining. Anyway, look at it. It's a beautiful piece of engineering. Like, Hornby did a great job with this. No, absolutely no question. And it's never been on a track. Now, and it's that dark green colour, but a beautiful piece and really well detailed. Of course, it won't show up that well here. Anyway, I think I'll get that on the track at some point. But it was one of a number of items that I was trying to sell, along with the HO set. And I'm a member of the Platelayers Club here in Ontario. And they have a show every other year. And I took a number of pieces along and priced them what I thought was reasonable. Like, they were not priced like eBay. And as an example, let me get one other item. So I've got 4 of these coaches. They are GF, and they are 00. Now, they're full length coaches, and they're just a little bit on the big side for my layout. So I thought, well, I should sell them. And, you know, they've got steel wheels. 3 of the 4 have had their couplings changed to the KD type. And one of them has the regular Hornby clip connectors or couplings. Now, I probably paid $25 or $30 for each of those. And so I thought, well, if I asked for $30, I mean, that would be reasonable. So, in boxed, right? But they didn't sell. These didn't sell. That crane set never sold. The only thing it did sell was my Caledonian Railways, the 123, I think it was, the Triang, the original Triang one, the blue one. That was the only thing it sold. And I think I had that priced at $75. And the reason I sold it was I couldn't get it to run properly. It kept sticking on the points. And I thought, well, that's a waste. I don't want it sitting on a shelf. And I had the accompanying, or still have the accompanying crimson and cream Caledonian Railway coaches. I think I've got 6 of them. They didn't sell. So the comments I got back was, oh, your prices are too high. Tony Northeastern. Oh, I am not worthy. Tony, how are you? Oh my God, I haven't spoken to you for a while. I see that you were busy there with another video, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but I will be looking at it in the next couple of days. How have you been, and what's new at your end? Great that you've dropped by. And, you know, I was just wondering, there's only 5 people on here. And, you know, what I'm doing is, if you missed the first part, I just went into StreamYard on my cell phone, and I'm doing a live broadcast through the cell phone, rather than hook it up to my laptop and set up cameras and have a disaster like I had yesterday. And this way I can sit and chat and not have to worry about things going around and stopping and whatever. And I can show you a few things. So getting back to the cost of things, I thought, well, for this set here, you know, if I got maybe $70, I'd be really happy. But nobody picked it up. And for the for these coaches boxed, I thought, well, they're asking £30 to £35 on eBay, plus another £30+ to ship it. So I thought, well, if I sell them for $30, that's, you know, 45% less, and might have been a good buy for somebody, but I didn't get any takers. So that was sort of problematic. You have the Black Hornby crane like yours, but I've weathered it. Yeah, I've seen it on yours. This looks like green. I don't know if you'll, I'll see if I can, I'll take the one out. I don't know if you can tell in the light, but I think that's definitely green. But, you know, a beautiful set, Tony. I mean, I saw yours and I thought, oh, I've got one of those. I must find it. And it's another case of having something put away for whatever reason and then forgetting about it. And that happens a lot, unfortunately. So, yeah, it is an issue, a problem. You know, you've got an aging community, because in a lot of these clubs, most of the guys are much older than I am. And, you know, either they've got their own layout or they're part of a group that's built a layout, but they've all got their own collections. And when I go to the Great British Model Train Show, which is every other year, there's always a wide range of rolling stock, locomotives, etc., for sale, because people are constantly getting rid of stuff, trying to whittle down what they've got. And I think I'm at that point too, because I can't run everything. And, you know, I'll take 2 trains out, put them in a station ready to run, and then I'll have 2 up the other end. And then, you know, for the following week, for the next broadcast, I've got to get them off, package them away, find something else and get them out. I don't have a big fiddle yard like Tony Northeastern, where you can store multiple units. And talking about multiple units, I don't know if you saw my video on Portal, where everything is electrified there. At least I think everything was. And you get a great selection of electrical units going everywhere for reasonable prices. Let me see here. Yeah, I keep I keep all my model railway stuff behind that wall back there, and this stuff has got all my art stuff. And I'll give you a little bit of a tour here. It's messy, but there's my cricket machine. If I can just... Yeah, so there's the cricket machine. It's barely been used, but I have plans to cut out a series of tenement buildings and do low profile ones, because I have the sketch laid out with all the dimensions. Just to let you see what I've got in here. Oh, there's I'll just open this up. That's a little painting I did of a provincial park up towards Ottawa, and all along the face of the cliff are these symbols and graphics that were made by the Indians and other like pioneers who hunted the buffalo and the beaver. They would pass along here and leave messages. And that's a provincial park where you can go and park for a week or two, whatever. Yeah. some Star Wars stuff. Yeah. Hot Wheels, Lord of the Rings. All my art books that I should read again. And well, these are excellent books. They no longer publish these. They would come out once every other month, and Cinefex, and it goes into great detail about how they made the movies and all the tricks that they did to get the special effects. Anyway. And then other books and interests. And there's the Machinery's Handbook. Great reference material. So, I've actually I've got a couple of little airbrush kits that I should get working too. The problem was finding a can of air, and I eventually found a source for those, so I should get cracking on that. Anyway, look, I'm just nearly an hour, and yeah, I just felt compelled to do this today because of the bad results yesterday on my live broadcast. This is a sort of more relaxed way of doing it. Yeah, so if you're interested in any of this stuff, like those DVDs as an example, I'll just spread the word that, you know, I've got them. Mark knows that I have them. He was very happy with the ones that he received, and you know, I'm happy to ship them over. And then anything else that might perk your interest, just let me know. I'm at the point where I might consider selling the Coronation Scot with the 9 or 10 coaches. I'm not really sure. I have to make some decisions there, because while it's great to have a great collection, you can't run them all the time, right? I'm sure you know that. Anyway, I just thought this was worthwhile, and I'm very happy all of you stopped by. And remember, you know, give me the big thumbs up, or even leave a little comment, because, you know, this algorithm thing, you know, it depends on so many things. If people view the video, if they give a like, if they leave a comment, if I respond to the comment, if I go into other people's and leave a comment, which I always try to do, it helps everybody. It helps you, and it helps me moving forward. It's a small community with a lot of talented people able to do this kind of stuff and share the information. And I encourage everybody to do so, and I'm happy to participate at every level. So, hey, Tony, thanks very much for dropping by. Great to see you here. And until the next time, everybody, it's goodbye from Partickhill Station, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.